Hello everybody, this is Kiereek here. So we're doing review and release. This time it's a review for Company of Heroes 2. And let me preface this with a story. When I first built my original gaming PC, which is mostly intact, to be honest, other than the video card, in 2013, I needed games. I didn't actually have any PC games other than like the old games I had for Windows 98. I had Tiberian Sun, like Age of Empires. I had Medieval 2, I guess, which is pretty good. You know what I mean? It was hard pickings. But then I discovered Steam, and they had these great sales all the time. So for, I think, like 10, 15 bucks back in the day, I picked up Company of Heroes 1. And I fell in love with it. I loved it. It was great. It was just the right RTS to kind of bring me into the modern, I'd say the modern RTS game. That wasn't the traditional base builder and expand kind of thing. It was more points based, which seems to be the way a lot of games are going now. It had great gameplay, it had great atmosphere, and even though the story was, you know, it was RTS standard, which isn't good. Even though it was that, there was a lot of it. It had a lot to do, and I appreciated that. So when I saw a chance to grab Company of Heroes 2 on, I think it was in a Humble Bundle or something like that, for like $1 or something, I jumped on it. Now, what is it? It's the same as the original. It's got pretty much the same kind of gameplay, with, I'd say, a little more added features. But if you liked Company of Heroes 1, it's there for you. You still build your base, you capture the points to get munitions and fuel and things like that, and then you got to capture the star points to take away the other team's points until they run out. I said points a lot in that sentence. I kind of regret that. It's infantry and tank combat, and there's active multiplayer. People like playing it. So if you're into that, I'd say give it a shot. Now the pros, I think the cover system is intuitive. When you have a group of infantry, you hover over an item, you get a little shield, green, yellow, red, something like that. You know what I mean? The little circles of green, put them there, click, they'll go and they'll go into cover. Sometimes they'll seek out cover even without you telling them to, and I think that's pretty good. It means that you get your units getting an advantage, but the cover is not absolute. Being behind a bunch of sandbags, that might help you out, but it doesn't guarantee you the win. And I think that's good. It's realistic as to what war is, right? And it's engaging combat. There's good effects involved around it, which I appreciate. The explosions are nice, the bullets are nice. The way the little models move around, like they're panicked and stuff, I like that a lot. It's heavily micro-based. You really got to be on the battle. Like you're using your specials, your alternate attacks. You've got to toggle them back and forth, like move them across the map, like retreat, force retreat them. Like there's a lot of little nuances to the game that require you to be watching the battle, be clicking like mad if you want to outplay your opponent. It's not really about who's got the most units as it is who manages them the best. Now there's many campaign missions. Even with the base game, they're all right. Like I said, they're RTS style quality missions, where in a sense you get a little cutscene. Next thing you know, here's our units. Carry them through this area. Use tanks to bust through the enemy defenses. I think they're all right. It uses a very detailed fog of war system. I feel like where the cover, like where your units are looking, directly affects what you can see. It's not just an area circle, like this unit can see in +5 range. It's like this unit's line of sight is this far, but it can be interrupted by buildings, which when you're playing with infantry, which is kind of squishy and susceptible to ambush, it kind of puts you on edge, and I think that's good design. The units counters are clear. Although when you have a tank, it's very clear that that tank buster is going to kill me. I mean, I shouldn't engage there. Or that infantry has carrying, Panzercheck rockets or something like that. Probably don't engage with a tank. Bring infantry. Same goes the other way around. If you have infantry in a building, you can know that guys with flamethrowers are going to clear them out. It's a standard, and you keep an eye out for them. It's always clear who's carrying what. There's no surprise, like a guy walks up and you don't know what he has, and all of a sudden, bam, flamethrower. No, you know it before he gets to you. So you got to make your moves. I think it does the feel of war really well without being too dreary, I feel like, too. It's got that whole PTSD feeling where explosions are going off, people are yelling like they're freaking out. It gets across the panic of war, and I think that's really important. But it doesn't linger on it. It doesn't linger on it, try to make you feel sad, like, oh, poor people. It just says, experience this, and you'll understand what we're talking about. Now for the cons, the DLC of, I don't know what it is with the Relic Entertainment, but they love putting out massive amounts of DLC. Maybe it's not Relic, maybe it's Sega, but they released the base game and then they released a ton of DLC. When I bought the original Company of Heroes, it was so late in the cycle that it all came together. I got all of it together. With this, because I just cheaped out and bought like the $1 package and Humble Bundle, I basically just got the base game, and then I got a little pack later on for free through the Make Love Not War event, I think it was, which was nice. But I'm not a big fan of DLC that functions this way. Great when it adds extra story content, blah blah blah, stuff like that, but not great when it adds factions and units, because then it segregates people. The online meta to me felt really stale. I didn't play too many online games, but they all kind of panned out the same way. Basically, start with the infantry, secure your points, and then immediately, especially because I usually played as the Soviets, immediately build fuel in those depots and start trying to pump out tanks. Whoever gets the most tanks wins. That's what it came down to. A couple games even ended as stalemates where, I don't know, both sides just going at each other, and eventually one side just surrendered. And I was just like, alright, it wasn't my side, so I guess I'm happy, but I don't understand why. I don't it was a very long game, but the online meta to me just doesn't seem exciting. Maybe it's better at pro level, but for me, I don't know, it seems weird. I would like to see more infantry battles. I don't really like the tanks, to be honest with you. There's not much opportunity for infantry to shine, I feel like, in the same line. Like, tanks there are powerful. They're going to rout infantry almost every time. Even the ones that are anti-tank infantry, you don't want to go head first. You got to get behind the tanks. You got to try to ambush them in some way, right? Use mines, get them from behind, something like that. But the infantry to me, I feel like, are the best. They got that cover system. They've got little specials. They can be like throwing hand grenades, throwing smokes, things like that. And they don't get enough chance to shine. I would like to see a longer phase of the game where infantry are dominant. Finally, I feel like they only focused on a small group of countries. Now, the first one had this flaw too. They focused basically on the Western Front. This one seems to focus on the Eastern Front mostly, although DLC, I believe, did bring in British and American forces, so it frees it up a bit. But basically, most of my games just involve Germans or Soviets, which is alright. You know what I mean? That's the focus of World War II. I would love to see bring in Japan or something like that. You know, something out of right field. I say right field because Japan to me is east, I guess. Although closer to me west. I don't know. I know that their war style and the war that took place in the Pacific Theater was very different, but I don't care. It's a game. Put them in there. Let me see it. Let me see it work. Make up some fucking tanks for them if you want, but I guess they want to keep it accurate. That's fine. That's their choice. So for the score, gameplay, I give it a 3 out of 3. I think Relic Entertainment does a good RTS in this system, in this style of RTS. So apparently they're making the next Age of Empires, which I'm kind of excited about, because if you follow the pattern, Age of Empires 4 should be World War 1, 2 area, so that's perfect. They know that they're in their element. That's a 3 out of 3 for gameplay. For addiction, I think that it's a good game. It is addicting, but it's not like super pull you back. You won't stay up all late because they segregate, especially single player, into missions. There's always that opportunity to quit. And I feel like one mission at a time is enough for me. Then I feel like I'll take a break. So I'll give it a 1 out of 2 for addiction. Reliability, 1 out of 1. Runs great. You know, they're great at doing that. It's a great studio for their optimization. Atmosphere, like I said, they nailed the feeling of war. Just nailed it. You gotta give them a 1.5 out of 2. Sounds are there. The visuals are there. And that, it really puts you in the spot. Makes you feel for your little people. Like, get out of there, bud. I know you're pinned down, but get out of there. Replay value. Again, I don't really find missions very replayable. I know there's different difficulties you can do them on, but, you know, there's not a lot there in the single player for me. Multiplayer, however, like I said, it's robust, it's active. That adds replay value to it. So I give it a 1 out of 2. That means our total score is a 7.5 out of 10. Very respectable. It's a good game. It's a good game, and it goes on sale for pretty cheap. So if you like RTS games that are kind of the new style RTS games, I suggest check it out. It's definitely worth it. Thanks for watching, everybody. This is Kiereek. Have fun, stay safe, and I'll see you all again soon.